How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I think the Lion squad might have been leaked just a little bit early. Saw a post from Tight 5 Rugby reporting on the Lions Test 23. Now, I don't know how much truth there is into this. I do like Tight 5, but obviously only time will tell whether this is true. Now, looking at this squad, I think this will be an absolutely fire squad, and it's kind of similar to what I was expecting to see with the Huey Palutu partnership in the center, Gibson Park, Finn Russell as that halfback pairing, and then seeing James Lowe, Tommy Freeman, Hugo Keenan at the back. I think that's pretty much my entire back that I have reported. Then with the likes of Tyburn, Curry, Conan, I don't think I actually ended up choosing any of them. I think I kind of went Van der Fleer, Jack Morgan, and then potentially Ben Earl. But seeing this, Tyburn, I haven't been 100% set on seeing Burn at 6. I haven't I'm not really confident. I think Ollie Chessum probably did a better job at being at 6 than what Ty Burn has. I do prefer seeing Ty Burn at 5, but Joe McCarthy at 5 is still an absolute monster. There's no two ways about it. It was the back row and that number 5 lock which I was most worried about, which I couldn't choose between because there's so much talent, there's so much depth in there. I think I ended up going Scott Cummings for um, I think I went Scott Cummings at 5, but obviously Joe McCarthy, he's got the experience, he's got the talent, he's a monstrous man. So yeah, if this is the squad, I feel sorry for for Australia because they are gonna get absolutely smacked. Seeing Genge, Sheehan, and Ty Furlong, Genge worked his way. Honestly, in the beginning of the Lions tour, I was certain that Andrew Porter would be a shoe-in at Loosehead. But Genge, the performances that he's been putting in, the work rate that he has solidified him. I'm pretty certain that this is what we are going to end up seeing most of the time. And looking at this, considering Jack Conan might actually be starting the tour, I think if he starts, he's going to finish it. Obviously, Ben Earl, he's good. He gives something else. Henry Pollock, he can play along the 6, 7, and 8. A lot of the back rowers can play, can play relatively easily. But at that 8, Conan, I think he might actually just start all of the games. He's that experienced leader. He's that monster of a man. He's that engine. He's that kind of guy, that warrior that you want on the field. So if he does start, I cannot see him. I can't seeing him starting on the bench for any of the tests. I think Conan starts. Conan starts all of the tests. He's got everything, and then we're just going to see a rotation with Curry, with Van der Fleer, with Pollock, with Jack Morgan, and so on. It's going to be worked around, and then maybe see Jack Conan come off on the 50th, 60th minutes or whatever it is. But Jack Conan to start, and then I think that back row is pretty much the solid starting the starting lineup for all of the tours. Gibson Park, Finn Russell, Huey Palutu, and then Lowe, Freeman, and Keenan. I think that's that set. They bring brilliant kicking ability. We have the just cool, calm killer of Jameson Gibson Park, who's able to control the game, tempo. He's just got such an array. And like I say, outside of Antoine Dupont, I'm giving him best 9 in world rugby. Gibson Park is right now, at least active, the best player, the best 9 in world rugby. With Dupont out injured and the performances that Gibson Park has been putting in, for me, best. When Dupont's on his game, there's nobody better. But Gibson Park is a very, very close second. He is up there. And then same thing with Finn Russell. On his day, he's the best. He's the best 10 in world rugby. Yes, there are a lot of comparisons. There are a lot of players that are able to put in like a good shift, but Finn Russell on his day is unplayable. He really, really is unplayable. I mean, we look at the 10s around the world. Even you have like your Bowden Barretts, you have you have Bowden Barrett, you have your Marcus Smith, you have your Finn Smith, you have Manny Libok, you have Sasha Feinberg. Uh, who else do we have? I mean, wow, my brain has gone completely blank. Yeah, Roman Intermac. Intermac is brilliant, but I still wouldn't. I still wouldn't play him over Finn Russell. Um, yeah, Jalibert. I still wouldn't play him over Finn Russell. I think right now Finn Russell is quite possibly my favorite 10 in World Rugby. So, and like I say, on his day he is unplayable. But otherwise, Huey Palutu is one of the most dominant bloody partnerships. They have it all. They have that salt, they have that pepper, they have the little bit of spice, they have a little bit of sweetness. Palutu is able to do everything. He's just such an all-rounder player. And then Hugh Jones is the perfect complement to him, bringing out all of the best qualities in Tui Palutu, and then vice versa. They just work so well together. But yeah, this for me, I could definitely see this starting every single tour. Every single test up against Australia. But I do think where there is going to be a lot of change is going to be along that back row, that 6, that 7. I think the pack is going to stay the same with Genge, Shi, and Furlong. I think this is kind of what most people have expected to start the tests. Atoje, he's solid, set on to be that number 4. Obviously, he's captain. And then Joe McCarthy, I think if Joe McCarthy is able to put in a good performance today, that's definitely going to set him up. But he does have those people behind him fighting for everything. I think I do kind of like seeing Ollie Chesham at 6. It adds a little bit more versatility. I think we are potentially going to be seeing Chesham coming on at 6, or maybe even starting at 6. I can't see that happening, but it's definitely something extra that will add an extra, oomph to the game, because Chesham isn't, again, I call him a walking fridge, because that guy, he's just rock solid. It's like he doesn't move. And seeing him at 6, he's going to bring a completely different element, a completely different, it's just a whole new level of physicality that will be brought onto the game. And this is one thing with Australia. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the kind of physicality that's going to be going here, right? I just can't see them keeping up here, and I think this is what Andy Farrell has gone for. I mean, you look at the size of all of these forwards; they are giant and they workhorses. Again, I don't know how true this is. This was reported by the Type 5 Rugby, but I can definitely see this starting the tests. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think this would kill an Australian side? Because I think this would absolutely dominate Australia. I will be making another video once the lineups have been announced. So I'll catch you guys then, and see you next time. Bye.